This episode was everything I needed this week. It gave me laughter and it made me cry. And that is Gintama in its entirety, in its essence. Gintama makes you laugh and cry all in one episode. Now, my God, this episode really made me laugh. It really did. It really did because I know a lot of people were excited for some reappearances from a couple of folks that we haven't seen in quite a while. So before I get to that part, um, here I am with my review of Gintama Silver Soul Arc Episode 4. And as we continue off from last week's episode, we are facing with Yutsuro's Walking Dead. Might I add, I'm surprised. I just remember I went back to read the manga with chapter 605, 604. And they didn't put in the Walking Dead reference back when they were talking about the movie. But I decided to put it in here. So with Yutsuro's Walking Dead, Gintoki, Nobame, Kagura, and Shinpachi are facing them. And of course, we met a character, but he's not going to be important after this. But nonetheless, he is one of the third last Naruto wing members by the name of Hitsuji. And Gintoki automatically within like 2-3 minutes faces off against him. And it's really graphic, if I might add, because for a shonen series, something that's targeted towards a younger male audience, it is pretty gruesome. Like we have where Gintoki literally takes his wooden sword, and it's not like it's not the first, but I say it is pretty graphic. As soon as you start the episode, he takes his wooden sword, stabs Hitsuji through his forearm, then stabs him through the mouth. We see it, stabs him through the mouth, and then stabs him through the head. And you can imagine, we come to find out actually he's part of the undead. But imagine if he was alive. Gintoki would have killed that man in the most savage and barbaric way, as well as the fact that we have where part of the other Naruto members were stabbing him trying to get to Gintoki. So it was pretty gruesome, if you might add. And then we have where everybody was just trying to fight, and constantly we see where Gintoki is always flashing back from his present, where we always see him trying to strike Shoyo when he was a student with his bamboo sword, and then even now as an adult trying to get to Yutsuro. And it's like back and forth constantly that we saw for at least the first half of the episode, where Gintoki is flashing back to his past and then coming back to the present day. And then we also, you always hearing where Yutsuro is always saying, your sword will not reach me. It came to the point where there happened to be an explosion. Yutsuro flees. Well, he gets away from it. And then we have where Nobame, another second shot came. Nobame pushed Gintoki out the way, and so she's injured. So she might be out of commission for the time being, but hopefully she does come back. And so Gintoki and the rest of Odd Jobs are running, trying to get away from, the Liberation Army. And then eventually they're stuck in the middle. They're surrounded by their enemies. And this is the part that actually hurt me. This is the part where it kind of gets sad and you get a little tearful. You start crying, possibly full-blown crying. We see Gintoki, and it really does hurt. We see Gintoki give up. Like, he had this look saying, basically, and even out of his own mouth, like paraphrasing, what's the point? What have I been doing with all my life? Have I been moving forward or not? My sword can never reach this man. Like, what have I been doing? I don't think I've been moving forward. I don't think I really have been doing much with my life. And then all you saw, the look on his face, and everybody was shocked when you saw Gintoki have this look of defeat. And it really hurts because it's like you've seen Gintoki from the first episode up till now, and he's always about motivating others. He's always about never giving up, even though he doesn't say. We always see him standing back up. In his way of saying never give up, it's like his soul will never back down or something like that. But for the fact that Gintoki is up against an opponent that was his former teacher, he doesn't know how to defeat him. And then he's stuck in this situation where he constantly has to be going back and forth, and then he's remembering his past and it's colliding with his present. It's like, it's so overwhelming. He comes to the point of like helplessness. And just before anything worse can happen, and you're getting pretty scared at this point, lo and behold, the machines start breaking down. They're getting destroyed. And we see our favorite set of hooligan police officers. The Shinzengumi has finally returned. And I was so hyped because I was like, man, if somebody don't do something right now, I'm going to start crying or something, because I don't like this look on Gintoki's face. And the quote that Kondo said was, keep your eyes forward and your hands on your sword. Basically, keep moving forward no matter how difficult the situation may be, and to keep fighting Ajas. When he said that, it was like an automatic switch of the spell for Gintoki, and he went back to himself. And I like how they kind of like bicker with each other, like nothing has changed between them despite them not seeing each other for how much months. Might I add, the castle was about to be blown to pieces, and because of Shinzengumi is back, Shoyo is safe, but she decided to take a stand. Instead of acting like the Shogun's little sister, she is Shige's sister, so she decided to take a stand while the other retainers were cowering and didn't know what to do. She said, I will protect this country by standing up for it. Like, a little girl has more resolve than these grown men do for the country that she loves, that her brother loves, and everyone else that she has met. So kudos to Soyo. You have more guts than these grown men do. Now, back to the Shinzengumi, and we also saw Zenzo within this episode. We couldn't expect him to come in future episodes to give a hand. So the Shinzengumi is back, better than ever, especially their uniforms. I love their new uniforms. It looks pretty good. Pretty good, if I have to say. Especially with Kondo, he looks very rugged, but it fits him. Like, he has a whole headband and then the scar that he received during the Shinzengumi Farewell arc. So it kind of gives him this rugged look, but you see the leadership in him. Not that he never had it, but you really see it defined in his face. Like, this guy has been through a lot. You see the experience. And so, while they're fighting, Kondo says that, we haven't been just twiddling our thumbs waiting for something to happen. We've been training and getting stronger while we were away, and we've been gathering forces both politically and by force, getting stronger members and getting everything that we need to face off against the Liberation Army and Yutsudo. So while he was saying that, he was taking off his headband, and think of like Rock Lee from Naruto's weights that he has on his legs, and then it drops, and he said it's been used to reduce the excessive strength that he has, and in a way to train him to use what type of strength from when not to. And then he takes off his jacket, which has added weight. So I'm like, how were you able to wear that? And while he's taking that off, I'm like, oh my god, yo, he's about to go in. And then he's naked. And to top it off, he's like, there is a little bit of added weight. And then he takes off his Mozak. And if you don't know what the Mozak is, look further down south. And he takes that off. And then he says, I feel free. I never felt so light in my life. And this guy, as soon as he took it off, he's faster than we've ever seen him before. Like, was the Mozak been holding him back all this time? Not even the clothing. Was his Mozak holding him back all this time from his true potential speed? And, we got some kind of butt shots in there and here and there. So if you like that, then by all means. And the funny part was, there was several funny parts. This one was, he stepped on it, and now he's out of commission. So this possibly was his lifeline, and the minute he stepped on it, he was out of commission. Now the part that really had me cracking up was, we got to find out Sogo and Hijikata's new power. So, starting with Hijikata, his power, for the months he's been training, the power that he has is called Nicotine Dispel. And this power allows him to increase his lung capacity by quitting smoking. In other words, he chose better life conditions. He chose to live a more healthier lifestyle. Okay, that's his new power. That's his new power. And now with Sogo, his power is called mayonnaise burst. And basically he is shoving mayonnaise in front of Hijikata's face and harassing him with it. Because, Hijikata is all about, the mayonnaise. That is his life. Mayonnaise is life. And so, he's wasting the mayonnaise, and that is his power. So, in other words, they were practically making fun of every single series, in particular shonen series, that have these new power-ups, and just to show that they're pretty, sometimes they're excessive, sometimes they're unneeded, and they basically made fun of that within this episode, and I found it so hilarious. And then they went to go attack the big robot, and basically all you hear is clinking sounds. They're not doing any damage until this big dude comes up behind Gintoki and Shinpachi, and he fires the bazooka. And lo and behold, his name is Zakiyama, or as I would like to call him, Zakibo. It is Yamazaki, and it's a crossover of Yamazaki and Rambo together. And this is how Yamazaki has powered up during his time away, during his, he didn't have any screen time. So, that's how you ended off the episode, with the Zakiyama or the Zaki Rambo crossover. And so next week we're going to see how the Shinsengumi trained during their time away from Edo and how they are currently right now. So this week's episode was really something else. Like, it started off pretty, gruesome and pretty scary for the first half, and then the Shinsengumi comes and, with their antics, something that a lot of us has been missing for quite a while. They came back with their antics, and I, for one, love it. So, if you guys saw this week's episode of Gintama Silver Soul Arc, episode 4, do tell me your thoughts on this week's episode. Like, seriously, it was too much. Tell me what was your most favorite part of this week's episode, and what are you expecting for episode 5 next week. The links are in the description box, so you guys go check it out. And I'm Kimmy-chan of Anime Legends Podcast, and I will see you guys later. Bye!